Guys, quick question. Would you advise Mohammed Kudus to stay at West Ham next season? Let me know your answer down below in the comments. In today's video, we are going to talk about the interview Mohammed Kudus held with Sky Sports. We're also going to talk about Thomas Partey and Arsenal. Arsenal are on the verge of signing Thomas Partey's replacement, and I'm here to tell you all about it. We're also going to talk about Antoine Semenyo. An ex-Liverpool player has advised the club that if Liverpool wants to sign any forward in the summer transfer window, they should go in for Antoine Semenyo. And I'm going to tell you all what the ex-player said. Andre the Day Ayew and Kamaldeen Sulemana updates live here. But before we jump into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also turn on notifications. My name is Adam. You're watching SportsCornerGH. Quickly, let's jump into it. Let's begin with Mohammed Kudus. He was in an interview with Sky Sports and he was asked this question: will West Ham be back stronger next season? Now, this was Mohammed Kudus' answer. He says that 100% that should be the focus and that should be the standard every season. Like I said, we take a lot of lessons from these downtimes. Every setback for me personally, I see it as an opportunity to grow and focus on what is ahead. That was the answer for Mohammed Kudus. After people watched the interview and heard what Mohammed Kudus said, fans started drawing conclusions stating that Mohammed Kudus is going to stay at West Ham because from the way he's talking, no, he looks like someone who is ready to fight for the West Ham badge next season. And I've asked myself that, would Mohammed Kudus love to stay at West Ham looking at the intakes he's gaining in the transfer market? Kudus is a hot cake. I said Kudus is a hot cake. Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Marseille, AC Milan, all interested in Kudus. I don't know how West Ham are going to keep him. West Ham also needs money to fund transfers for Graham Potter. But looking at what people are saying on social media and the conclusion people are drawing because of what Kudus said, I mean, it shocks me a lot. That's why I asked you, would you advise Kudus to stay at West Ham next season? Because what they have done this season, I fear if you repeat again, a lot of people will come for the head of Mohammed Kudus. He's a good player. It's just that the whole West Ham setup this season have not performed well. That's why we are not seeing the best out of Mohammed Kudus. 4 goals, 2 assists. It has not gone well. As compared to last season when he scored 8 goals and gave 6 assists. I just believe that Kudus in a good team with a very good coach, as I said in my previous videos, is going to be a very explosive player. But then, guys, this is what Kudus had to say about West Ham coming back stronger for next season. Let's move away from Mohammed Kudus and talk about Thomas Partey, Arsenal, and also Martin Zubimendi. All these three have been trending since morning. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal has reached a verbal agreement to sign Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad, and they are ready to trigger his release clause of 50.8 million euros. For me, I think this is good for Arsenal. And a lot of Arsenal fans think it is going to mean that Thomas Partey is not going to play and all that. Yes, I get what you're saying, but Thomas Partey is one of the players that Arsenal fans themselves did not want at the beginning of the season. He had to fight for his position, and he fought very well. And up to now, when you're asking people for one of Arsenal's best players, they are not going to leave out Thomas Partey for this season because he has played extremely well. He has had one of the best seasons wearing that Arsenal jersey. But I don't think this is bad news for Thomas Partey. Even though in long terms, Zubimendi is Thomas Partey's replacement, I still don't think it is bad news for Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey needs to focus on extending his contract, play his football at Arsenal, and better his CV. Trust me, even at Thomas Partey's age, a lot of clubs are going to come in for him. If Thomas Partey decides to follow the money, he can go to Saudi Arabia. If he decides to follow the legacy, there's Atletico de Madrid waiting for him. There is Juventus interested in the player. Even PSG has shown interest in signing Thomas Partey. So for me, this is not bad for Thomas Partey. And I think this is also not bad for Arsenal. It's a win-win situation because if Thomas Partey gets injured, you know Martin Zubimendi can step in. If Martin Zubimendi gets injured, you know Thomas Partey can step in. And Partey has proven this season that he can play in the midfield and also can play at right back. So Thomas Partey can be a utility player for Arsenal. So for Arsenal fans, drawing conclusion on social media saying that now that they have Zubimendi, Thomas Partey's contract extension should not go forward. I think you guys are saying the wrong thing and you guys are making a huge mistake. I believe that regardless of the fact that Arsenal are going in for Martin Zubimendi, they should also focus on, extending Thomas Partey's contract. He has been good for Arsenal this season. He has played extremely well, and he needs to be rewarded with that contract extension. But then, guys, that is the update concerning Thomas Partey. His replacement, it's just a matter of time. He will be signed or unveiled as a new player for Arsenal, Martin Zubimendi. Now, let's move away from that and talk about Andre Dede Ayew. Andre Dede Ayew plays for Le Havre. And today, Le Havre is going to play against Marseille in the French League 1. If Andre Dede Ayew makes an appearance in that game, there is going to be a huge milestone for the player because that game could mark his 500th league appearances spanning across his 15 years footballing career. Now, he has played in France, he has played in England, he has played in Turkey, he has played in Qatar. This is a player who has really paid his dues to football. So it is going to be a very emotional night for Andre Dede Ayew because it is Le Havre playing against his former club, Marseille. We all know Andre Ayew, his father, his junior brother, Jordan, all played Marseille. So it's going to be an emotional one. But it's also going to be a very tricky one because I need to explain that to you. If you take a look at the French League R table, Marseille sits second with a point of 59. Now take a look at the team that sits sixth, Strasbourg, with a point of 57. Just take a look at the point difference. The point difference is just 3. So Marseille cannot afford to lose because immediately you lose, you can move from second to sixth. It will shock you. So as at this moment, this is very tricky for Marseille and they need the full 3 points. Now for Le Havre, it is also tricky because they are also battling for survival in the French League. If you take a look at the relegation teams, the teams who are likely to go on relegation, Montpellier, 16 points, Saint-Étienne, 27, Le Havre, 31, Nantes, 32, Angers, 33, Reims, 33. So the possibility of Le Havre moving from relegation zone today is high if they get all full 3 points or probably a draw. A draw could really help their case. But then all depends on what these two teams are going to do. For Andre Dede Ayew, it's going to be emotional for him because he's playing against his former club. He also needs the 3 points because he wants his team to survive in the French League 1. So guys, this is an update concerning Andre Dede Ayew, who is about to reach a huge milestone, playing his 500th league game, spanning across 15 years in his footballing career, playing in England, Turkey, Qatar, and France. Let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Now, let's move away from that and talk about Antoine Semenyo. Now, Antoine Semenyo is doing well this season with Bournemouth. He has done a lot of things for Bournemouth this season to the extent that it's becoming more than, a lot of people imagine. 9 goals, 6 assists. That is incredible from Semenyo in the EPL. Now, according to Glenn Johnson, a former Liverpool player, he says that if Liverpool are going to sign any forward this season, they should go in for Semenyo. Now, this is what he said. He says, with what Darwin Núñez is doing, and also the contract situation with Luis Diaz and Diego Jota, if Liverpool are likely to lose any one of these 3 players, they should go in for Antoine Semenyo. He says, maybe Semenyo, he's quick, he's powerful, he's explosive, but it would be obvious. But it would obviously be a massive step forward playing for Liverpool. You never know what someone can do until you chunk them up in the deep end. I'll probably pick him. This is coming from Glenn Johnson saying that, hey, Liverpool, if you're going to sell one of your front 3s, either Darwin Núñez or Luis Diaz or Diego Jota, go in for Semenyo as a replacement very quickly because he's powerful, he's quick, and also he's explosive. And I believe Semenyo to Liverpool is going to be a great move. I'm not going to lie to you. It is one of the moves that I would be happy to see Semenyo playing for Liverpool. I believe next season, Liverpool are still going to get a very strong squad. Look at what they did this season. It's just because of something, like they would have won treble. Because they were one of the strongest teams in the UCL and everything. It was because PSG showed them small pepper, then everything decided to crumble. But I believe next season they'll go again with Semenyo part of that team is going to be a deadly team. But then, guys, this is what Glenn Johnson had to say about Antoine Semenyo. Let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Lastly, let's talk about Kamaldeen Sulemana. Today, he featured for, Southampton, and Southampton played against Man City. Now, the scoreline in that game was 0-0, and a lot of people have been talking about it. Investors are not happy with the fact that, a team that have been relegated, Man City, we know you want to be in top 4. But then you are playing like this 0-0. Investors are not happy. But then for me, what I'm happy about is that Kamaldeen Sulemana played the game. He had some few game minutes. He played 88 minutes. Had some, he had the rating of 68. I think he did not perform badly in my own opinion. And he played against Man City and they were able to walk away with the points, which for me, it is very important for the player. As to whether he's going to stay with Southampton for next season in the Championship, it's only a matter of time. But then he's getting regular playing time, which is good. Which is also good for Arsenal because it would be very devastating to see Man City, who are having a very bad season, go above Arsenal in the EFL. It's going to be wild. But then this is an advantage to Arsenal too. But then, guys, that is it with Kamaldeen Sulemana versus Man City. He did not perform bad at all. If you take a look at the statistics, it wasn't bad at all. Dribble attempted successful, 1 out of 2 accurate passes, 9 out of 12. If you take a look at his block shots, 1. I mean, he did not perform bad because he was actually playing a false 9. Let me know your thoughts about all this down below in the comments. Thanks for joining me. My name is Salem. I'll be sure to see you in the next one. Charlie, we go vibe.